What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy Davey Productions for coming through and boosting up the coin. Much respect, General. So, well. Karma has finally caught up with Tyson Fury. Yeah. This fight was actually better than the first one from Fury's point of view, in my opinion. I had Fury. The first one, given the knockdown, that fight should never have been a split. That should have been a 16-112 kind of thing. Flip the scorecards. This fight, if he was the biggest Tyson Fury fan, you could argue it's a draw for him. But Usyk won. The right man won. I did find it weird as well. A day after the fight, Oleksandr, how can you explain the scorecards? Like, come on, bro. What are you talking about? Like, Fury was goosed in the championship rounds. He had nothing left. Sugar Hill was telling him, hold your feet. And the only thing that made this fight closer than the first fight was when Tyson Fury held his feet. Every time, Sugar Hill told him. And to be fair to Sugar Hill has come through in many clutch moments, or at least one in the Wilder free fight. Fury was doing what he wanted. And then Sugar Hill said, get on the jab. In the clutch moment, he gave the right advice in this fight. He said, hold your feet, stop pulling back. But Tyson, for whatever reason, whether he felt the power or I don't know what, he couldn't help himself. I guess he was goosed, he was tired. And when you're tired and lanky, you think, I'll just drop my hands and I'll pull back. It's easy, it's lazy. Oops. That's how he got caught. And Usyk was outworking him. There's a few clips I want to play here which showed the difference. In rounds 5 and 6, again ironically, Fury was holding his feet, more of an orthodox stance and winging away. Usyk had very little answers. Again, he was most likely playing the long game. But still, my name's Tyson Fury. I've got all the IQ. The back game was never working. Didn't work in the first fight. Tyson Fury this time came out from the jump in the first round. And it was a complete different fight, if that makes sense. All the control Usyk had was gone. And there was a lot of close rounds in there because of that. The minute he starts pulling backwards, chin in the air, leaning back, he was getting clipped all over the place. So Fury lost this fight, to be honest. Oh, listen, Usyk won it. Usyk's too fit. Pause. He's got too much cardio. I'm not saying if Fury had held his feet the whole way through that it would have meant he would have won. But the evidence is the evidence. He was doing much better. And I actually ended up cancelling my bets as well. Then after round 6 again, happened in the last fight. After round 6 again, I thought, oh no. Usyk looked to me like he was wilting. And especially even towards the end of the fight, the bookies had it 50-50. And I thought, there's no way in a close fight like that. There was loads of close rounds. There's no way in a close fight, given Turkey, that they're going to give it to Usyk. I thought it'd be a draw or a Fury win. Bash, I got bumped. Oops. Big scam. And that's the problem with these the judging situation. Yeah? I knew at the end of round 12, if we're honest, Usyk won. But I'm sitting there trying to calculate, well, Turkey's going to have done this. Especially after Dave Allen and Johnny Shitter. Dave Allen punched the head and popped the cherry off Johnny Bummer. Sorry, the Romford bum. He punched his head right off. Watched 10-1 favourite. How could he win that fight ever? How could he win that fight? I told you, who else passed you, man, 10-1 play there? That's a 10-1 play. Who's passing you them? Everyone else sitting on the fence. Dave's washed her. He is washed her, but the Romford bum's no good. He's no good. Stiff as a board. It's a bum slayer. Another shock. In 2024, we got another bum slayer, folks. That's what we got. Anyway, like I said, early in the fight, Fury came out. He holding his form. Usyk really didn't have much answers. Fury still had the long paw going, but he was stable. The minute you start pulling back, it's like fish food. Ooh, this guy's sweet. And I'm going to show you a clip here. Watch the difference here. This is in round 5 and 6, Fury's best rounds. Watch the difference when Usyk starts slapping away. Watch. So Usyk starts slapping away here. Look at Fury's guard. Yeah? You see that there? So Usyk's got 3 shots off. Tyson tucked up, didn't start pulling back with his chin in the air. What's the difference? Usyk slapping away, 3 shots there, 4 shots in total. So we've got Usyk, throws the jab. Tyson's in tight, he's catching on them all, leaning in. No effect. Usyk's done 4 slaps, no effect. No problem. Now we're back to fighting again. That's how the fight should have gone. He had half the idea there. I'm going to hold my feet. This was good. And then, 2-2s. How many rounds later? Not long later. It was even later in that round. Just to give you contrast. Watch this now, in comparison. What you need to notice is not just the composure, but the form here. In that first clip, you saw Tyson here. You using your eyes. Get them eyes, and you know what I mean? Get your chin down, lean in, and you're catching, parrying. You're in here. You got some protection there. For whatever reason, and this summed up the last half of the fight, yeah, he would hold his feet at points, but he'd be pulling back with his chops in the air. Watch this one here now. In comparison. So look, his guard's tight here, yeah? So big look, watch this now. Fury's pulling back. Bash! You see that there? Yeah? Fury is pulling back. Bash! Pulling back, leaky deaky. What are you pulling back for? Tuck up and lean into it, man. That's what you do. You don't pull back from when who teaches that? To pull back when you're under fire. I don't understand that. You go in, you lean into it. Floyd Mayweather, as defensively sound as he is, when he got rocked by Zab or Mosley, he's going into it with his chin down and his hands stuck to his head. You don't pull back with your hands low. It's not even so much bad if you pull back with your hands stuck to your head. You don't pull back like this. You don't do it. And I gotta say this, obviously for boxing's sake, as we all know, it would be better if Tyson Fury had won. And again, Usyk's a phenomenal athlete, and he had the championship rounds down pat. Fury had nothing left, he was goosed. So I'm not saying he could have even done this, but I argue pulling back is more tiring. You've got to engage your legs. Tucking up, yeah, and leaning into it, that can't be harder than pulling back and trying to skip back quickly, especially when your legs are shot to bits. There's another exchange here. Here we go. I think this is a replay. So Usyk steps in with a jab to the body, and he bowls the left hand over. Look at Fury here, look. Look at Fury here. Just standing there. Lead hand down. Right hand nowhere to be found. Bash! That set of combinations was no different. That was only 2 punches as well. How can Fury catch? Look at this here. This is four punch combination. Jab. Look how tight he is. Jab. Caught. Parried. He's tucked up now. Usyk slapping away. No effect. There would have been no damage from that. And it gives you a menacing effect. It's a bit like Martin Bakoli. You don't see Martin Bakoli pulling back and running back. He's just in there, catching it, and it's scary. When someone is bigger than you, yeah, and they're just in there, not running back, and they're tucking up, it's like, oh, damn, I can't make a dent in this dude. I can't hurt him. And that's how it was looking in rounds 5 and 6 in particular. It looked like, when Tyson was doing it properly, it looked like, oh, Usyk can't hurt nothing. He's not having no effect. Fury's got his shorts pulled up to his nipples, so there's no body shots that can go in, apart from the straights, which were pretty effective. So Fury's got him, to be honest, again, I can't tell you what the cardio situation would have been. Usyk definitely won this fight by a round or 2. Some people saying like Ade, oh, I don't know how it could be 4-8. I can. 4-8 is just 1 from 5 to 7. If that makes sense. I've always found that weird. People say, oh, that's ridiculous. I had it 5-7. How could it ever be 8-4? Well, that's just a round, people. It's not, oh, it could never be 116, 112. I had it 115, 113. All right. You had a round more to Fury than they did. That's not a robbery. Usyk won anyway. Too strong in the championship rounds. Too strong. And for Tyson Fury to be the bigger man, he didn't cause enough of a dent. And Usyk had a lot of clean head work for the reasons I've mentioned. Just look at this here again. It's frustrating. And when you think about all this talk about the boxing skill shills, the leaky deaky shillers, and some people can pull it off. Like, so far at least, Moses Talma's been able to pull off the leaky deaky. But I believe Talma's probably got the IQ. He knows when to do that. Fury doesn't know, ultimately. He clearly doesn't know when he can drop his hands. Yeah? He should have come into this fight. He had the right idea with his feet to start off with. I expected him to run to the middle of the ring and run back to the ropes like he did in the first fight. I expected that because I believed he was psychologically shot. He actually turned up in this fight. The problem was he was mixing turning up and having a go with, ooh, I'm back doing my old tricks again. And Michelle called it. Michelle said, he'll revert back to type when he gets tired. And he did. And that's on him. Yeah? You could have posted up there and just sucked in tight and rode the shots from a tight guard. Like all the top guys do. Beterbiev, Bivol, Canelo. You don't ride shots like this, leaning back with your hands by your chest and one down by your waist. It's ridiculous. And it's unfortunately, it's almost like a curse of tall fighters. Yeah? Fury's got away with that for years when he's fighting Chisora or Dillian White with slow feet and slow hands. That advantage he has, he can just pull back and watch the shots fly past him. Or jerk off on the ropes, doing all this stuff like when he did with that bum. What was the guy's name? Not Wallin, the other one. He fought some other bum and there's a famous clip of him slipping and sliding. He thinks it's great. That's all well and good when you're fighting complete stiffs. Clearly when you're fighting Usyk, who has phenomenal accuracy, you've got to be on your P's and Q's. And I don't understand this talk about his IQ as well. His IQ must have told him, wait a minute, this guy's having no success when I'm in tight. Sugar Hill said it. He's only catching you when you're pulling back. How much simpler does it need to be, man? How much simpler? And I do again, taking out the cardio side of it, I think this was Tyson Fury's fight to lose, based on what I saw. I believe it was Tyson Fury's fight to lose. That said, Usyk did definitely win it, if that makes sense. But I saw signs here. And if Daniel Dubois can tighten up, because Daniel Dubois is a bit leaky-deaky, and that Usyk's too accurate. So Dubois could get turned off, even though Hrgovic couldn't turn him off. If Dubois can bring his elbows in and stop coming in, Dubois he bounces around with his lead hand low and his right hand elbows like out here somewhere, bouncing around. If he can tighten it up and suck it in, like Beterbiev, for example, just keep it here, Usyk's FUCK'd, for sure. Too much power, too much force. Fury can't punch for toffee, he's got no gas, and he's finished. And there were signs there. And AJ, the same thing. But to be fair, what did AJ do in that second fight? In that second fight, AJ was much more traditional. He was here, and he was tighter. He wasn't perfect, but he was tighter. And Usyk inevitably had a much harder fight in that second one because of that, in my opinion. That's the blueprint. Chisora, yeah, he's not the tightest, but you got to be on him. And how you be on someone, you don't do it with your hands by your waist, giving the moody, herky-jerky jippo. Yeah, you do it from here, tight in, elbows in, chin down, and stuck to your forehead. Come on. There was no Lennox Lewis type jab either. There was at points he'd put it in there, but he should have been from here, yeah, and just had that jab, trying to find that jab somewhere, and a straight right hand. Keep it simple. He tried to work the body. He did a bit of everything okay. The biggest red flag for Fury was the moody pulling back, which is his. And I hate to say it, I think Atama would knock Fury Spark out right now. Seeing how Usyk caught him, Atama, yeah, is like Usyk, but with real heavyweight power. Atama, I think, would clip Fury with one of these shots and be knocked Spark out. Seriously. I'd back Atama now to beat Fury, based on this. If you get caught by Usyk with a straight, in the black, maybe Fury probably negotiate the first 6, but when Fury gets tired and starts pulling back like this, Atama will catch him and put him to sleep Spark. And I never predict a KO, but Itama would spark Tyson Fury right the way out, and he's scary. I've got to be honest. I listened to G-Man's video, and he said Moses Itama was a prodigy, and yeah, the guy he fought's not all that. But anyway, we're going to talk about Itama later. Let's now move on to the champion, Usyk. From his point of view, he does what he normally does. I think he was a bit baffled at the start when Fury wasn't running. And Usyk had to adapt. I think ultimately, I don't think he necessarily adapted. I think he just played the long game. He was consistent from round 1 to round 12. I think maybe he had one round off. Every round he was just chipping away, doing this consistency he had, which is what Fury lacked. Fury couldn't maintain them early rounds in the back half, which was my expectation. To be fair, I thought Fury would wilt even more. I wasn't surprised if Fury would have got knocked out, to be honest. But we know Usyk can't punch. We know he can't punch with toffee, and Usyk's very cautious. He's fighting dudes that are 50 pounds heavier, so I guess you've got to be cautious. But there are points in them last few rounds, Usyk probably should have put the hammer down. As it happens, it worked out. The right man won for sure. This was Usyk's fight. Ultimately, Fury's got all the advantages, the size, the weight, and he couldn't stamp his authority on it. He had a good start. The idea was there, but he couldn't execute down the straight. I think he was gassed. That's the only reason a man don't keep his hands up if it's working. He's gassed, and or he felt the power, because Usyk did clock him a few times. He must have felt the power and didn't fancy it. Sugar Hill told him, Tyson, it's time to go now in round 12. I had Usyk winning round 12, if that makes sense. Fury didn't come out and have a proper solid, I'm going, getting knocked back out to win, which is confirmed my analysis. Yeah, he fought better in this fight. It was more solid. But he doesn't have that Steve Cunningham. Yeah, if Peter Fury or whoever was in Tyson Fury's corner had told Tyson, you need to knock Cunningham out, he'd have come out straight on his job. He's lost that now, so he is finished. But now what's left for him is the battle of the bums, the great British bum off. Yeah, Anthony Bumua versus Bumson Fury. That's what we got now. Yeah, the biggest bum of Britain is the Riyadh show. Listen, shout out to Turkey, man. Turkey put me onto the promotion team for this fight, and we're gonna call it the biggest bum of Britain. Yeah, the battle of the bums in Britain. The battle of the British bums. How about that? That's what's left for him now. He's finished. He did okay in that fight, but he can't compete at the top no more. Bacoli, Italma, Dubois will do Fury some serious harm, I believe, in that back straight. He don't have the legs for 12 rounds, and he never had the legs for 12 rounds, to be honest. What's that stinker Vlad fight? People said it was great. It was great because Vlad weren't doing nothing. So he had a great career, but he's come unstuck with a cruiserweight, and that undermines, as great as people may think AJ was, for example, the fact you came unstuck against cruiserweight. I don't care how good he is. That shows you can forget about Hall of Fame. I'd forget about Wilder, Fury, and AJ should never be nowhere near the Hall of Fame ever. And to be honest, I don't even think you put Vlad in there. Honestly, I just don't. I'm sorry. Yeah, he held the belts for a long time, but against who? These guys have all come out to be randoms. Chisora beat Pulev. It's like, come on. How good is Vlad? So this new age, there should be really apart from Usyk's the only entrant at this point. At this point, Oleksandr Usyk is the only Hall of Fame entrant for the heavyweights of the last 20 years since Vitaly and Lennox Lewis. He's the only one in my book. The rest have been hype jobs, selective hype jobs, where they've had good matchmaking or good luck of circumstance like Vlad. Who's Fury fought? Wilder. He's fought Wilder and went life and death in that. A basketball player who's unconfirmed. And now he's fought Usyk twice and lost twice convincingly by a decent amount against a man who's half his size. Looking at them in the pre-fight in the ring, I thought, Michelle was saying, Usyk looks skinny, man. Fury's massive. And to be that massive, yeah. Do you know how much of an advantage it is to have 5 inches of height? Usyk had to work the whole way through this fight just to get any shots off. He had to explode in, explode out. And Usyk's defense was on point, man. He weren't leaky deaky. He weren't pulling back like this. He wasn't doing that. Tight, man. How hard is it? All these goofy trainers, yeah, whoop-de-whoop. How hard is it, yeah, to have your hands stuck to your head? How hard is that? Oh, maybe, well, it's hard because, your shoulders get tired. What are you training for? If you train leaky deaky, then yeah, your shoulders are going to get tired. If you train and spark to your head 24/7, you're going to get conditioning in your shoulders. You'll still get tired, but Usyk did it. Oops. Yeah, Usyk did it. So it can be done. It's discipline and not being lazy. I think a lot of these guys in sparring, it's a spar and, oh wow, I can show my different gears. I can show my different levels. Ooh. That's all fun and games until you've got a job to do. And if you've got a job to do, it's pop, stuck to your head. Ba-ba, pop, slip, whap. That's what it is, people. There's no. I'm convinced now. After seeing what I've seen here, and Fury consistently, I didn't see him get lit up really with his hands on his head. He got lit up when he get caught pulling back, and then Usyk would land a few more. And also the clinching, which again implies that Fury was goosed. But the clinching was too much from Fury in the last few rounds. Too much. He was clinging on, and it was at points he almost got clipped. He tried to clinch and miss it because Usyk and them Ukrainian man, they know how to avert the clinch. They're not like a lazy Mike Tyson who just wants to fall in and happy to accept the clinch. A great trainer once said, I forgot who it was, a fighter has to accept the clinch. You notice Usyk seldomly gets clinched. Lomachenko seldomly gets clinched. You have to accept it. And Usyk didn't accept it, and Tyson would get caught at times with his arms like spread out, and Usyk was having a go on him. Again, boxing fundamentals and IQ, man. You're much better off stuck in here than you are opening yourself up. Stuck in here and look for something in between. Yeah, if someone's like Usyk's coming in, slapping around, you got to stay here and be ready, man. tuck in tight and get something off. Oops. He didn't, so he lost. His leg, even in round 6 here, his legs look weary. I want to see, is there another bit? This is a highlight of Fury pulling back, leaky deaky. The Shaitan got knocked out of him again. I didn't see it live though. Look, his eyes, he's looking at the wrong place, man. He's looking over there. Wow. He knocked the Shaitan out of him again. That explains where his energy went. Fury had Shaitan energy into round 6, and you just see it here. His eyes are spinning. Look, he ain't looking at Usyk. He's still not looking at Usyk now. The punch landed about 2 seconds ago. Look at this guy. You don't believe me? To put you on quickly, because you man are bugging if you don't think the Shaitan got knocked out of him. Look at the Shaitan. Look at the Shaitan. Look. So Usyk just hit him. Dude's looking over there, man. He's still looking over there. It's chipped frames. Anywho, Usyk is a phenomenon. I mean, Usyk's listen, you got to give Usyk credit, but Usyk, in my opinion, is a phenomenon in a very weak era. A bit like, he's much better than Vlad, skill for skill. But I don't think I've seen enough now. Fury had the idea, same as AJ. Fury and AJ 2 and Fury 2 are actually somewhat similar. Both started to wilt down the back straight. They both came in with different game plans. They tried to be more fighty. I mean, you can argue, well, IB. Obviously, Usyk's doing something to turn them off. They ain't got the heart for it, man. You put Evander Holyfield in there, yeah? You put Evander Holyfield in there. In fact, look at Bradis. Arguably Usyk's best. Look at Bradis, yeah? You put a dude with heart in there, a big old dude with heart, real heart. Watch Bradis and Usyk. I had Usyk winning it. I didn't think it was that controversial, but Bradis came to fight. He came to fight. Yeah? That's what's missing in these heavyweight cats. And I believe if Dubois comes in with his elbows sucked in and his chin down and he's like this, Usyk's proper fucked. I really do believe that. Because Fury can't punch. And when Fury was on point and holding his feet, Usyk didn't really have no ideas. Usyk was slapping and the shots weren't having much effect. They were just slapping. And I don't see, if Hrgovic can't turn Dubois off, I don't see how Usyk will. But then again, Hrgovic was accurate. But it just couldn't, I don't see what Usyk can do. He'd have to be on his bike. Usyk couldn't turn off Chisora from coming forward. So there are signs there. He's great. Obviously, he needs massive accolades. He's going in there with absolute giants. But the giants he's been in there with have been pussies. And it might be the case. Listen, I'll give Usyk his flowers. If Usyk blows through Dubois or beats Dubois and turns Dubois off at this point, assuming Dubois beats Parker. I mean, that's a bad omen. I never like that when people start coming in the mix and you got another fight booked. That's a big banana skin. I got to be honest. But Parker, come on, he get punched up by Dubois. But still, assuming Dubois comes through Parker, if Usyk turns Dubois off and Dubois goes back to this boxing, which is possible after being dinged a few times, then Usyk's earned it at that point. I'll say, yeah, there's something going on there that I can't see. Because in reality, Dubois, who's walked through AJ, who's walked through Hrgovic, should just walk through Usyk. That's what should happen in reality. Based on what we saw here. Fury at points, who was slapping and can't punch for toffee, and has no cardio. He had Usyk not in trouble, but if you could do that consistently, I don't see what Usyk's going to do. You're too big, too strong. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of weight divisions. We're yet to see someone show Usyk weight divisions, and I can't believe, unfortunately, folks, that it's to do with, actually, it's the fact that Usyk's that good. If that was the case, Inoue would go up and beat Canelo, right? Essentially, if it was all just about being that good, then Riggin or whoever you want, some little dude, would be able to go up 5-10 weight divisions and just, he's that good. It don't work like that. Look at Crawford. Crawford was great. He moves up a weight division, went life and death with Madrimov, couldn't do nothing in there. The difference is your mindset, man. These new age heavyweights are no good. But we bet on Usyk in theory. I got bumped in the end, but listen, we bet on Usyk, so the idea was right. Fury outperformed my expectation. I think a lot of us can agree with that. We expected Fury to be a lot worse. He actually did a lot better than the first fight. He deserved a one-round loss here. He didn't deserve a draw. He didn't work hard enough in the championship rounds, but it should have been... If there was ever to be a split decision, the first fight was no split decision at all. The second fight was. Anyway, people, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe. I'm just thinking about Usyk. Yeah, he just very consistent. He loves the straight to the body and then mixing it up to the head. He just consistent. That's his biggest asset, I'd say. Consistently high level skill. He's mainly, he always pulls out on his P's and Q's. He's always looking to be here. Solid fundamentals. Not the biggest puncher. He's quick compared to the heavyweights, but he's not the biggest puncher. But he does everything to a high level, and that's what, and consistently to a high level. Fury might do some things, like I've showed you. He might do some things right, and the next minute is wrong. So it's like, no, the better fighter is Usyk. Never mind adjusting for weight, right? If these two men were the same size, it'll be a 12-0 shutout. So yeah, salute to Usyk. At this point, he's proving it all. You can't hate it. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one, people. Stop it.